Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome. Awesome to be with you today. Acknowledging this, that there's nothing new under the sun, but every sunrise is amazing. Today's subject is becoming lovable or feeling loved, which we all really want. My hope is to share a couple of thoughts with you that have really helped me over the years and hopefully will help you as well. So thought number one is feeling lovable. Where does that come from and how do we get there? The second thought is learning to feel loved. I believe that this is a trait we can learn, we can grow and become more lovable. So without further ado, here we go. Phase one. How do I become more lovable, or how do I receive more love, or how do I accept love? So the old saying goes, wag more, bark less. Well, I don't know how helpful that is, but what we're talking about here is a sense of love, feeling lovable, and you cannot really receive love unless you feel lovable. It's like a magnet. I mean, in order for it to stick, you have to feel that you're lovable, and many people don't feel lovable. Coming to that point is, how do I feel loved? Well, love is also represented by acceptance. Okay, so in order to feel loved, you have to accept that you're lovable and that you're okay. You know, I'm okay, you're okay, the old book. In order to get to that position, we have to find out, well, why don't I feel lovable? What are these doubts that are floating around in my mind, and why do I have so many of these doubts? And why do they cloud my thinking? And why do, when somebody offends me or does something that I think offends me, then all of a sudden, oh my, I'm no good, they don't love me, and I might as well go home and be by myself, or go drink, or go, whatever it is that you do when you don't feel loved, when you don't feel safe, okay, is that I believe that love is somewhat inherent, that it should be. It's like, it just is. And it's something you have to assume the origins of love, aside from spiritual and religious expectations of creation or universe and being part of something bigger than yourself, which I do believe, but I also believe that there's a physiological, psychological component that happens at birth or in your young childhood. And there are so many things that can get in the way from developmental childhood, and I'm not development of a child, and I'm not even going to try to get into any of that today, and I'm certainly not an expert in any of those things. But when a child is born, it is loved automatically, loved unconditionally. And if it isn't, it should have been, is my proposition to you. So if a child is born, it's automatically loved. It doesn't even know it's separate from the mother or whoever's taking care of it for, they suggest anywhere from 5 months to a year and a half, depends on who you ask. But the child doesn't even know it's its own thing for a while. So it's part of you, and every need is taken care of. And all it has to do is cry and ask, and eventually it's taken care of and it's satisfied. And it develops a sense, we develop a sense of, I'm okay, and when I have my needs will be met by someone greater than me, right? So if you don't feel loved, there was probably some kind of disconnect in early childhood, intentional, really. So where was I before the phone rang? Gosh. So you're born with an expectation of love, or not even expectation. Yeah, it's an expectation. So the baby assumes that it's good. The parents reinforce this. Over time, when the child, or we, understand that we're separate, we're still taken care of, our needs are met, and we have a warm sense of I'm okay and the world is okay. So the parents reinforce this idea that you are loved, you are nurtured, you're okay. And if this doesn't happen in childhood, then you're kind of up a creek. Or if a trauma happens to you later on in life, of the many, sadly, horrible things that happen in life, there is a way in which you can regain this ability to love yourself. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes thought. And again, if you're in a dark place, get help, because this is not about rescuing somebody necessarily, but this is a conversation about growth. And that's where we're going now. So on to thought two. Thought two is that it's learnable, that you can learn to accept love, to be okay with yourself, and to move through life in such a way when the testings come, and the disappointments come, the trials come, that you have a system or an automatic reaction, or eventually develop an automatic reaction to where you can self-soothe and I would say self-soothe the inner child, and that's a pretty popular belief, and there are books written on it, and there's this whole psychology studies behind self-soothing and how that has to do with the inner child and all that. What I'm going to suggest to you is develop the mindset of the learner. And according to Tom Bilyeu and many other people, shout out to Tom Bilyeu, he's awesome. He has saved me so much time in research with all of his awesome content. If you're already turbocharged and you want to take it to the next step, he's the place to go. So anyway, back to the mindset of the learner. And as Tom Bilyeu would say, it's the only thought that matters. Develop the identity of the learner, then the alternative could be very, very bad. And that is the opposite of the learner, or growth mindset is equal to learner, would be a fixed mindset. And many, many people believe that they are who they are and it's not changeable and there's nothing you can do about it in life. You're stuck. So basically you're dealt a hand of cards, we've all heard that, right? And that's your hand and you can do nothing about it. Well, I'm here to tell you that I know you can do something about it. And I don't know what your circumstances are, but I know you can develop the learning mindset and a growth mindset, and this can help you overcome this self-doubt that we have about our own personal value and the fact that we're okay and that we're lovable. The learner. So the learner is a learner, or as Inspector Clouseau would say in his movies, Yuri the trainer who trains. Well, we're the learners that learn. The growth mindset of the learner spends his time, her time, their time, learning skills. And with these skills, you take out into the world and you serve others. And this is the basis for which happiness can come, or contentment or fulfillment can come. It's learning as many skills as you can, or as that you want to, sharing those with others. And this becomes kind of a symbiotic relationship with the world, with your soul, with your ability to love. But what happens is, the learner learns a skill, and then you go out and you fall on your face, or somebody doesn't appreciate your skill, or what a million things could happen. And then all of a sudden you have to decide once again, who am I? Am I a learner or am I a fixed mindset person? If you're a learner, you take that opportunity, that interruption in what you're doing, that negative feedback that wants you to go, I'm no good. I'm no good at this anyway, I might as well give up. I might as well go drink, I might as well go, whatever it is you do to hide, or get angry because I'm insecure. You called me dumb. No, I called your idea dumb. Well, you have to decide, what you're going to do. So the learner is going to say, okay, I got this. So I made a mistake, or somebody's criticizing me. Let me look at this. You analyze it based on how important that person is to you, or how professional, or how knowledgeable, or whatever. You set that tone. You get to decide who you let in. And then you take that information and go, okay, I did make a mistake. I shouldn't have raised my voice, so I can fix that. Or I was playing tennis, and when I did my backhand, I didn't do a top spin, this critique that could send you into a down spiral. You go, okay, well, I can do that. I can fix that. So you go out and you practice doing that over and over and over and over again. And then, so that skill is refined, you go back out and do it again. And each time you get better and better and better. And life is never done with learning, no matter what you do. And as you get older and things change, you decide that I want to do something different, so you can learn a new skill. Well, I can't move around like I used to. Well, you find another thing that you can do that you don't have to move around as much. Whatever it is that you're doing, you spend your life raising children, you get really good at that, and then your children are grown, and you go, what do I do? Well, there are lots of things to do. Let's decide to be a learner with a growth mindset and move that way. Now you would ask, so how does this relate to love? Well, that is part 3 of this. And don't forget the bonus. How does the learner relate to love? Okay, and I'm going to give you a bonus at the end, so don't forget about it. How does the growth mindset help you learn to love yourself? That is a great question, and since it's mine, I can answer that, I hope. So, growth mindset says, when a trial hits you and somebody's fussing at you, let's just say it's your spouse is angry at you for something, and your first reaction when they get at you is you want to hide. You go, oh, this really sucks, and I don't want to have to deal with this. And I feel unlivable, I feel hurt, they don't love me, and damn, I'm not lovable anyway. So let's just give up. And we don't normally stay there or recover, but what if we could do something different? What if we could say, stop and take a breath and go, okay, what's going on here? Is it the behavior that they don't like? Or is it me? Is it the little baby, the child that was born, the beautiful child that is loved unconditionally. A baby does nothing. A baby looks at you. That's all it does. And yet we're willing to change its diaper, feed it from your own women, from their own bodies. They're birth it. I mean, what we do for a baby, just cause. And so we need to get to the point in our minds that we believe that we are lovable because we exist. So every time something causes a challenge to our feeling or an insecurity or makes us go, I'm not okay, we need to take a step back and say, okay, well, what is it that's bothering me? Is it me or is it that? Well, likely if you're feeling hurt and you're feeling insecure, there's something in you. So you go, okay, here's the baby. I know this baby who I was, or one of my babies, I'm loved just because it exists. It does nothing. It doesn't even have its own identity yet, but it's beautiful and we love it. And we know that our parents loved us, and if they didn't, they should have. And you know that you would have loved you, right? You would have loved you. So reinforcing this thought as much as you can and build that foundation of confidence that it's reasonable for you to love yourself and accept love. And actions are different, and acceptance is different from inner peace of knowing you're okay and you're lovable. We can learn external things. We can learn how to be better at tennis. We can learn how to be better at relationships. We can learn how to be better at just about anything within reason. But you have to almost accept the fact that you're lovable, this baby. Other things we love just because they exist are pets for a lot of people. You see a furry little creature out there walking when you're in the park by the riverside, and the river's flowing by and the trees are there and there's a little pet coming by. What is your first inclination when you see this animal, assuming it looks friendly? You go, oh, it's so cute, look at the dog, I want to scratch its little head and pet it or throw a stick or something, right? Why? Because it exists. Now, if you go up to the dog and he starts growling at you, you can go, well, I love you, but I don't like you. But there's a big difference. You can still love somebody and be lovable, but not necessarily like them. There may be some attitude changes that need to happen, some conduct that needs to change, but that doesn't change the fact that you're lovable. All babies are lovable, or should be. Trees, sunsets. Who doesn't like a beautiful sunset? Sorry if you don't like one, most people do. We love them because they are. We're designed that way to love other people. We're designed that way to love ourselves. Sometimes life deals us a hard blow, and we have to get back to where we're okay with ourselves. That's my 2 points for the day, and the bonus is coming up. How do I apply this when things are tough? And I like to quote or reference Wim Hof. He loves to do this. Wim Hof. Fully in, let it go. Fully in, let it go. It's called centering, right? And there's all kinds of ways people do it, through prayer, through meditation, through deep breathing, through working out. There's all kinds of ways to center yourself. But what I'm going to ask you to do is, in the heat of the moment, when you're doubting yourself, center yourself. Picture that child that's lovable and should be loved. This little baby or a furry creature or whatever it is that makes you happy and makes you understand that some things are lovable just because they exist. They don't need to do anything. The dog doesn't need to do anything. The child doesn't need to do anything. You don't need to do anything to be lovable. You deserve to be loved, and you are loved. I love you. I didn't say approve. I didn't say I like. I said love. So that's really it for that. So the bonus is this. I love Star Trek. I'm not a Trekkie by any stretch. I don't really have the mind for it to remember all the details. But there's a scene in Star Trek, the modern movies especially, that I really like. And so this is my analogy. You are in space, and the Klingons are after you, and there's a virus on the ship or whatever it is. There's something going on, and you need to escape. So what does Captain Kirk do? That's right, warp speed. Get the heck out of here so we can regroup. So what I'm going to ask you to do is make an assumption with me really quick before we go to warp speed. That for the sake of this discussion, we're going to accept that there are 3 parts to a human being. 1 is our body, which is our vessel. 2 is our mind, which is the captain, the thinking part. And 3 is your ego, or what I call chatterbox. It's all the noise. It's the outside noise, it's the inside noise, it's the Klingons, it's the doubt, it's the fear. It's all the things that are in life. So you say, warp speed, Scotty. Boom, you go to warp speed, and what happens? It goes whoop. And for a moment, you're suspended in air, it feels like, and just floating. The stars do this stop. It's really cool, the effects, and they're going by very slowly. So in that moment of suspension, in that centering of the deep breath, you go, in this moment, I am okay. In this moment, I am okay. In this moment, I am that baby. In this moment, I am that furry little creature. In this moment, I am that beautiful deer grazing peacefully by itself. Then you can go, okay, what is it that's going on around me? What can the learner do? What can I learn about how the person that just attacked me? What can I learn about the mistake I just made? And how can I fix it? Write it down, read it, research it, figure it out. Separate your identity from your lovability, if that's a word. You must separate your identity from your lovability. And eventually, they reinforce each other. And the more lovable you think you are, and the more skills you gain, and the more you share those skills, more importantly, the more love you'll receive back. And you'll be able to receive the love because you deserve love, right? People can't receive love that don't deserve it in their minds. So God bless you, love you, you deserve love. This is part one of many things. We're going to be talking about health. We're going to be talking a little bit about money. We're going to be talking about exercise, which I like very much. I probably don't look like it, but I try to stay in shape. So anyway, God bless. Till next time. Remember this, there's nothing new under the sun, but every sunrise is beautiful. Bye.